but it's littered with a lot of PSU banks, so perhaps that could be the trading pocket to watch out for today. We have Mayuresh Joshi of Angel Broking who's also with us. Mayuresh, the positive trend that we got fundamentally yesterday was the auto sales, especially for some of these tractor makers like M&M, and names like Hero MotoCorp, a lot of the rural plays. What's your top pick from the sector now?
Morning, Sonia. I think clearly the numbers are indicating that good things are here to come, and if these numbers stay over the next 2 to 3 months, and if one really assumes that the monsoons are quite normal this time round, a lot of the companies that cater to rural demand, so that be M&M, Hero MotoCorp, TVS Motors, I think they'll have a beneficial impact. Hero MotoCorp specifically, I think 50% of their volumes coming from the rural areas, and any uptick on that count is going to have a positive impact, not in terms of how just the volumes grow, but again, I think realizations expected to show an uptick. Benign input costs for most of these players still expected to stay low. Again, I think the optimization program LEAP has worked tremendously well for them. So I think Hero MotoCorp from the two-wheeler space along with TVS Motors remain one of our top picks. TVS Motors specifically, I think again, they're gaining market share. The management is extremely confident with the kind of market share gains they're doing specifically from the scooter segment. So clearly, I think Hero MotoCorp and TVS Motors remain our top picks.
Okay, well, at the moment, Mayuresh, the banking stocks are the ones that are taking it away. SBI in pre-opening, I mean, these are bids, not trades, but nevertheless, that stock is up 5.8% and Bank of Baroda is up 4.4%, ICICI 3.5%, PNB 3.3%. So the three big banks which are expected to most benefit from the new capital rules are the ones that are taking the market away. It's ICICI which contributes to the Bank Nifty, but we aren't yet getting the early Bank Nifty rates. Should get that in a minute, but before that, let me get to Amit Gupta and ask him how does he handle the derivative space. Amit, good morning. Your Nifty strategy?
See, if you observe this particular series when it started, in fact, in the expiry week of Feb, when the market was going down, the highest put base for the March series was at 7,000 put strike, and after that, two or three times Nifty had a fall below 7,000. It was 50 points down, 100 points down, and then on the budget day it was 200 points down below that level. But 7,000 put remained the highest base, and the volatility did not surge that much before the budget that it fell actually after the budget. After the budget, it has come down from 23 to almost 18 levels. So my sense is the strong hands in this series, they have returned 7,000 put strike like anything. 60 lakh shares has already been the open interest base at this particular strike. So either one write 7,000 put or you can write 7,100 put for the time being. That 7,100, because why I'm saying this, Nifty had hit 7,050 2 or 3 times and then it has come down. So once it has moved above this, I think 7,050, 7,100 will remain the support for this particular uptrend on the higher side. On the higher side, when 7,000 put was written, that time the highest call base was at 7,500. So I think eventually this rally has to move towards 7,500, and this may be a scenario for a couple of weeks because this is a very long series. 31st of March we have the expiry. Historically, I have seen that in a very long series like this, the first 2 weeks, whenever the momentum starts, it generally continues for 9th or 10th of the month. So we are still on the 2nd of March. So that is why I think the declines can still be bought, and possibly the oversold stocks we can look at, or 1 or 2 large caps, and along with this either you buy Nifty or sell the put options, because still the vols are higher than the normal average of 14 and 15. So in that scenario, I think writing 7,100 put option in Nifty may be a good strategy.
All right, Amit, we are close to opening time, so if you can quickly take us through your L&T trade as well as your IGL UPL trade a little quickly.
See, as I said, one of the few heavyweights, they have to come up now and start participating. Yesterday we saw it was ITC, so there may be some participation from the banking, which was quite a laggard, but L&T has remained resilient. If you look at the 20th January low of Nifty, which was around 7,300, after that Nifty had a fall of 500 points, but L&T remained around 1,070 and 1,100. So it was a beaten down stock which showed a lot of resilience at the bottom level. So I think that it is a good candidate for short covering, at least
for a couple of weeks. So you buy 1120 call option only, which were heavily sold before, obviously. So these premiums have to spurt because these closer positions, I mean these writers positions have to be started getting closed.
Amit, I'm just going to have to interrupt you on that note. Those are Bajaj Auto's February sales that have come in. The total sales are up by 12% at 2.7 lakh units. This is slightly lower than the expectation that Nomura had. Nomura was expecting about 2.9 lakh units, but nevertheless it's a 12% decent sales growth that we're seeing. Exports continue to fall for the company. Export sales are down about 12%, and that's where the estimates have actually fallen short. A lot of analysts were expecting that this time exports would see a slight bit of a pickup, because that's what the management had indicated, that some of the dollar availability issues may just be a 1 or 2 month phenomenon, but that doesn't seem like it, because exports have fallen for the company, down 12%. So a major chunk of the work has been done by the domestic sales for Bajaj Auto, and that's what led to the overall sales growth of 12%. Motorcycle sales have grown by 9% at 2.35 lakh units, while three-wheeler sales have done very well. 37% growth is what you've seen in the three-wheeler sales, coming in at 37,437 units. So Bajaj Auto slightly short of what the street was expecting, but in a difficult scenario, double-digit growth is not bad. 12% sales coming in. Mr. Tulsian, you want to comment on this? Once again, exports are slowing down, but the domestic growth has been good because of their new launches like the CT100 and the Avenger.
Sonia, overall I am disappointed, because just now, as I have said, that I'm just taking the benchmark with the previous month. Previous month it was 2,94,000, 2,93,939. In fact, I don't go much on the YOY basis, because when we extrapolate the current trend, when we have been talking of the slowdown in the earning, offtake and all that, I agree that Bajaj Auto has the significant contribution from the exports, again Sri Lanka and Nigeria and all that, and they all are facing the problems of the dollar and all that, and apart from that, three-wheelers, as you have said. But even if you just take a thumb rule, 294 and it fell to 270, as I said, that I'm taking the absolute number. Now take the case of Hero Moto, the volume fell from 563 to 551. I'm just giving you a month on month in the absolute number, so maybe this 24,000 fall in Bajaj Auto on a sequential basis will not be seen well by the market.
Okay, well, yes, compared to some of its other peers like Hero MotoCorp that has done very well this time, and TVS Motor that has seen a good growth as well, Bajaj Auto has been falling short as far as exports are concerned. Mayuresh, between the three or among the three, what would your top pick be now, considering what you've seen in the auto sales this month?
So clearly, as pointed out earlier, Hero MotoCorp, in our opinion, has posted a decent set of numbers for the month gone by. So 550,000 odd units, more or less in line with what we were estimating. TVS Motors a tad bit better than what we estimated, so around 219,000 units that they sold were better than what we had envisaged. Clearly, I think if you talk about the kind of new product launches that the management is talking about, the cost optimization program, the fall in input costs, the EBITDA margin staying close to a 15.5, 15.6% kind of a mark, that augurs well for a company like Hero MotoCorp. And similarly for TVS Motors, they are indicating market share gains with increased dealership probably across the length and breadth of the country, and with their scooter segment probably gaining more traction with the new launches getting wider acceptance. Our own take is that valuations for TVS Motors are also not that expensive at this point of time. Clearly Bajaj Auto has disappointed in terms of how their export numbers are panning out. Domestic is more or less making it up. Three-wheelers have remained strong for the last 2 to 3 quarters. But within the three, as I mentioned earlier, I think Hero MotoCorp and TVS Motors remain one of our top picks.
Yeah, I just want to mention a couple of more details. The domestic business is growing quite well actually. It's a 30% growth that we're seeing in the domestic business year on year at 1.73 lakh units versus 1.30 lakh units that they saw same time last year, and that is because of the new CT100 and the new Avenger, which has done very well. The domestic motorcycle market share has also improved from the lows of around 15% that we saw last year to somewhere around 17-18% now. So it's once again the same old story for Bajaj Auto. Good domestic piece that's improving, but the exports continue to slow down. We have about 1.5 more minutes to go before we start off with trade. Amit, just come in on a couple of other stocks that you've picked out for us, and what would you expect today?
See, I think I was mentioning about L&T, so 1120 call option can be bought there. And among the mid caps, I think Indraprastha Gas and United Phosphorus, these are the two picks which are looking better. And if you ask me from the short covering perspective, then UPL may be one which I am looking at particularly, because it was the outperformer before, but it has remained a laggard in the last few series. And if you observe the lower levels of 380, 400, it has formed a good base. Now again, like L&T, it was something which did not fall in the last 500 points of fall in Nifty. It remained around 380, 400. So some good delivery pickup we have seen at the lower levels, and after the budget, this short covering has started. So because possibly the focus is there on the village sector, so I think that is why more buying is coming into these stocks. On the higher side, it can go up to 445. Now Indraprastha Gas has been a neutral kind of stock in this market because it was more on the CNG. So again, if you observe from Jan 2015 till for the whole year, it was around 480 levels. In between there was a fall of 100 points towards 380, but from July till December it has remained around 480 after the positive outcome from the court. But after that, again 100 points of move on the higher side, and it has fallen. It has retested these.
Okay, well, that's the bell, and you are seeing a fairly decent opening for the markets. It's about a 250-point rally for the Sensex, 1.12% thereabouts is what the index is opening up, and I think it's led very bravely by the banks. The Bank Nifty actually is up 2.5% at this juncture. Mid caps are keeping pace, 1%, but just a tad behind the Sensex and the Nifty. It's the banks that are really taking it away. SBI up 7.1%, Bank of Baroda 7%, PNB 6%. So that's what the capital relief has given to all these three banks. And ICICI Bank is also not far behind. Remember, ICICI Bank already rallied about 5% yesterday. So on top of it, this is a 3.5% rally. ICICI Bank now safely above the 200 rupee mark, which seemed almost distant about sometime last week. That's 3.5% higher. And then the metal stocks that Sudarshan was talking about, the bottoming out of copper, Vedanta is up about 2.7%. Coming back to the banks, Axis is up 2.5%, Yes Bank 1.8%, IndusInd Bank 1.7%. These guys are not really disturbed by capital so much. So it's the big guys exposed to the big corporate borrowers. That's ICICI, PNB, BOB, SBI, which are the ones that are greatly advantaged by the new rules announced by the Reserve Bank. Among other gainers, L&T, that one of our experts was talking about, I think Amit, that's up 2%. Hero Motor up 1.7%. So the motor stocks also are getting a look in. Idea is up 1.6%. Only one stock in the red actually. 49 on 50 in the green, with M&M the sole red stock, and even that not by a whole lot, down about 5 rupees or 0.4%. Coal India, Tata Power, those are among the minor gainers, but really this is a rally blazing on all cylinders. What about the mid-cap, Sonia?
Oh yes, blazing on all cylinders is correct, Lata. I mean, 400 points in one shot on the Sensex, and that's after an 800-point gain that we saw yesterday. That's a mammoth rally. I just want to point out that a big part of it could be global as well, because as we speak, even Hong Kong is up about 500 points. So we're not alone in this monster move that we're seeing. But yes, in the broader markets, once again, it's all about the banks. So you spotted all the larger ones, the smaller ones, the Indian Bank, Canara Bank, OBC, Union Bank. There's a big trade going on the long side in the banking space, so that's a space to look out for. Apart from that, IRB Infra, there's a bit of disappointment because of that cancellation of the JNK order. So IRB Infra is down about 3%, but as the company told us, no financial loss, they haven't made any investment, and as Mr. Tulsian said, perhaps it's all for the better, because that was a pretty rough terrain to execute that order. A couple of other stocks that you perhaps would want to watch out for. Tata Com has been under intense amount of pressure these last couple of days, so that stock is just about seeing a bit of a bounce back. But you know, I can't see anything apart from the banks, because that's the big pop that we are seeing this morning. On the downside, M&M is slightly coming in for perhaps some profit taking, so down 1.2%, and it's only M&M, Coal India and Sun Pharma. Stripped of that, all the stocks are in the green. Anuj is also here with us. Anuj, monster move, 10-1 in favor of advances now.
Yeah, monster move, but as I said in the morning, I won't be surprised if today is different from yesterday. Keep an eye on the market till 10 a.m. There would be temptation to book profit. Why I say that, I'm looking at even the option prices, Sonia, the out of money call options, where the game was yesterday, 7,400 and 7,500 call. The 7,400 call premium has only gone up about 52%, 53% thereabouts. So, you keep an eye on the market till 10 a.m. to see if it actually goes below say 72.50. If it does not do that, then maybe you're in for another really good day. But back to back days where the market opens with a big gap up and sustains that and adds to that is unlikely. So this could be the time to actually book some profit. From the low point, the Nifty has now rallied 500 points in 2.5 days. So that could be the profit booking moment.
Anuj, your caution is well taken, but let me see if our technical experts are echoing your caution. Sudarshan, the Nifty trade now?
Oh, the Nifty trade is still to go long, and we understand that there is a gap up and there was a big move yesterday. So this is not a day trade. The idea is that 72.50 was crossed today, and it was crossed by a gap, but we can't make the markets. We have to follow the markets. So I would be long in the Nifty. I understand that there will be a consolidation and a 50 or even a 100-point decline is possible, but I would still be long in the Nifty. It's not a day trade, but
both your bank calls and your metal calls are working. Bank of Baroda is a monster rally. Oh wow, that's 10% higher. What will you do? Your target was 142 rupees. You want to revise it, Sudarshan?
but it's not revising. For somebody who, I don't know how many people could actually buy it at the very first minute, but I would say Bank of Baroda is the best of the charts in the PSU banks. So you don't get out now, you stay with it, you go through the consolidations, go through the ups and downs. Lata, how do you make money if you are not prepared to face adversity?
No, I'm not asking you to give me a sell call at all. I'm only asking you whether you echo Anuj's caution, and on Bank of Baroda at least you believe that one can stay put. Ashwini, your calls on the banks, I mean now this is just going up in a way. It's the reverse gravity that's working here. SBI is up 8.9%. Bank of Baroda 8.7%, Bank of India 8.5%, Canara 6.5%, PNB 6.3%, Union 6.3%, ICICI 4.5%. Ashwini, any strategies on your radar now?
See, these sort of rallies, and now we are so away from these intraday averages that sooner or later there will be mean reversion. The trade that you see on your screen is a high risk trade, but one that will pay off. Because the kind of bar we are seeing, yesterday we were at 14,000, today we are at 15,000. Life does not move like that, and given that Nifty is at a bit of a discount, the Nifty futures, so I believe at some point during the day you will get that dip which will easily take 200 points off from the Bank Nifty, but keep your stops. I mean, this is an intraday trade. Yes, Bank Nifty probably has turned, but intraday I think we are overstretched, so you can take short positions, but it is a high risk position.
Yes, it is slightly hard to digest the kind of gains we've seen in the last 2 days purely because of how badgered sentiment has been in the last 3 or 4 months. But just to follow up to that question, if you look away from the banks, Ashwini, you do have many of the auto stocks that are also doing well in Hero MotoCorp, Maruti, Tata Motors, etc. What is your pick of the pack today?
Well, given that Maruti has had quite a bashing, Maruti can do well. Ashok Leyland I've already mentioned. So basically, given the auto numbers and the mood of the market, everything should do well. But again, remember that since yesterday morning, these stocks are up quite a bit. So try to look for corrections to enter. Entering right now, you may be entering somewhat of a short-term high, and from where you could easily get a decent correction.
Okay, well, don't miss out on all the headlines that we're giving you at the top of the screen. The Sensex from the budget day low has risen 1,600 points. That's the kind of move we've seen. Mayuresh is also still with us. Mayuresh, you want to take us through some of your top fundamental picks very quickly, because I'm sure now that the market is making some sort of a bottom formation, there are plenty of buy ideas.
Oh, absolutely, Sonia. So I think with the kind of thrust that the Exchequer has given specifically towards infrastructure stroke rural programs, our own take is companies like Sadbhav Engineering should benefit. Now, if you look at the structure, 70% of its revenues comes from the EPC/BOT projects, 15% respectively from mining and irrigation. The kind of allocation that's being done towards irrigation of 86,500 crores over the next 5 years, 17,000 crores this year, towards roads and highways of close to 56,970 odd crores. I think that augurs well for companies like Sadbhav Engineering. Most of the projects have been tied up. The equity IRRs are quite impressive, and our own take is that over the next few years, the kind of growth that one really expects both in terms of EBITDA and bottom line should be quite stupendous. So Sadbhav Engineering is something that I'm liking. Cement clearly remains top of our pack in terms of a sectoral theme, and within cement, I think UltraTech Cement remains one of our top picks. Clearly what has happened in terms of an expectation of volume and demand recovery should play out over the next 2 to 3 quarters. It always moves in a tandem of 1.5 times the GDP multiplier. So if you're talking about a GDP rate of close to 7.5 odd percent, you're basically talking about cement volume growth in excess of 10%. With UltraTech's commissioned capacities and the expected takeover of capacities worth 20 MTPA, you're probably talking about a pan-India player. Realizations expected to remain stable. Valuations again not too expensive, at least at this point of time. So I think UltraTech also would remain one of our top picks, along with housing finance companies, where our belief is that with the kind of incentives that the finance minister has given and the kind of expectations of asset quality to remain stable, stock like LIC Housing, Diwan Housing can do well over the next year or a half.
All right, thanks for that. Mayuresh, Mr. Tulsian, last question to you. A great rally. Is there anything that you will pick for value now?